Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
All right, so we will start the webinar in another 1 or 2 minutes. I can see there are a few more participants, those who are trying to join this session. Right, so we will start the session in another few minutes.
Yes, sir, sure.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. Today's session is going to be very interactive and thought provoking. I understand people, those who are joining us from different cities, different part of India, right? So all working professionals, all HR professionals, right? So uh, before I start the webinar, before I start the session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Pritish Mandal. I'm from VC now, and I am the program manager for XLRI Jamshedpur online courses, which are meant for working professionals like you and me. So today's session, as you all have already registered for it, and the topic of today's session is that how HR leaders can create enterprise value with analytics and strategy. So the topic itself says that strategy and analytics are two key pillars of HR domain. So we are going to discuss that in today's session. So before we start and before we begin the discussion, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's session. We are honored to have Professor Jatinder Kumar Jha with us. He is an
Hi.
associate professor in the HRM area at XLRI Jamshedpur and also serves as the chairperson of the HRM area and the Center of HR Research and Studies. Professor Jha holds a doctorate from IIM Ahmedabad and bring deep expertise in areas such as strategic HR, HR analytics, AI in HR, digital transformation. He has contributed extensively for both to both academia and industry, including developing HR competency frameworks for leading public sectors organization and contributing to national level like the Seventh Central Pay Commission. With a strong blend of research, consulting, and teaching experience, Professor Jha has been actively involved in shaping future HR leaders and helping organizations build data-driven HR capabilities. We are really looking forward to learning from his insights today. Welcome, Professor Jha, and thank you so much for
Yeah,
taking out your time for today's session.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Pritesh, for the introduction, and welcome to all the participants. Am I audible to all of you,
Yes, sir.
Pritesh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, the topic that we have selected for this particular webinar is the what is the future competencies of CHROs, as you see uh, that in the last 4 or 5 years, the all industry have seen a certain kind of transformation. So one of the recent transformation that all of us or the all industry which is going through is called digital transformation, and it all started before what you say the COVID time, and during COVID time it was in peak, and now post COVID, in the last few months or few years, we are talking about the digital transformation and introduction of AI in HRM processes. So that is the process related transformation that is happening. But the fundamental question is, as a HR professionals, are we ready for this? If we are ready for this, or we want to prepare ourselves or our organization, do we have the HR architecture there, HRM system there, that will help the organization in the transformation of whole HR processes for the strategic transformation of the organization. So therefore, there are two components of today's discussion. The number one, why this transformation is important and why we should be worried about it, or is there any opportunity for us? Second, if there is opportunity and this is going to be the reality, then are we prepared? So these are the two components that we are going to discuss in detail. So let's start with one. Why we are having this discussion? What competencies are required for CHROs? What is the role of HR that is going to be in the coming years? How HR department has been transformed in last 4 5 years, and how you see the role of HR in the coming 10 15 years. So let me give you one example. With an example we will understand what I mean when I say strategic human resource management and analytics. First, let me give you this disclaimer upfrontly. I am not referring to the understanding of finance for the HR. I am not referring to the understanding of economics for the HR. I am also not referring to the having understanding of stat for HR professional to do analytics. I am saying understanding of the context of the business and then adding value as per the business choice. Which means when I say strategic human resource management, it means HR department, HR leaders, or those who are aspired to become the CHRO, they should be able to understand what is my business model. So you will ask two questions to understand this, which is very simple. One, who brings the business? Who brings the business for my organization? Second, how they bring the business. Who brings the business? How they bring the business? If you can answer these two questions, you can easily understand what is your business model. Now I give you the example how business model is important. Why I'm not big fan of best HRM practices or mimicking the best practices. So I give you one context, then you will understand why your context, why your customized solution is important. And we are standing at a juncture where highest level of customization of HR processes, HR policies, HR design, and HR system is important for the organization. So I give you one example to explain what I mean. For the same worker who is working in a manufacturing sector, skilled workforce will have a different set of hiring practices, different set of retention policies, and most important, their compensation will be as per the what we call the current context. We will call it the national wage, or earlier we used to say minimum wages before the labor codes. But if you go to Surat industry, which is diamond cut and polish industry, so they are the one, they are paying the highest level of compensation and salaries even to the workers. And some of them are not even qualified. So the question is, why HR department is not paying them minimum wages, which is actually paid by the rest of the companies? What is that contextual difference? That is the one example. Second example, when I see Excelrai, like any consulting firm, is a professional organization. So any employee who is working in consulting firm or professional organizations, I will decipher what is the meaning of professional organization versus rest of the industries. So professional organization or firms, they never talk about work life balance, they never talk about what you say retention policies, and their employees never complain about the work life conflict. For example, and the moment you go to manufacturing, moment you go to some other industry, you will always see the work life is important, though it is important. What I'm saying, employees are not complaining. For instance, the consultants, they can have maybe multiple travel plans. They are traveling across the a globe many a time, those who are on the international assignment. They are working more than 10 to 12 hours, 15 hours. Qualification is same, which is in the IT sector, and same is the what is for the consulting firms. Roles and levels are also almost same. Why in one sector people are not complaining? Why in other sector people are complaining about this? If you can answer these two questions, I ask you two questions. Why workers are paid very highest level of salary in diamond cut and polish industry? Why consultants are not complaining about their work life imbalance? Even many a time, these consulting firms or professional firms, there is no layer to monitor their performance, means micromanagement. So full autonomy. So they are the taking the charge of their work. They decide their work schedule and finish their task. Of course, not at the beginning, but after spending 2, 3, or 4 years, you will have that level of the luxury. So the question is, if you are a qualified HR and you are shifting your jobs across the sectors, can you understand these contextual, sectoral, industry, and job specific context? If yes, then you would be able to answer the two questions that I have asked you. Explain me the salary difference between two workers. Even for, I will say, manufacturing sector, they are qualified. They are getting their certificate from RTI. But in diamond, even they are not qualified. They are school dropouts. There is no technical education. So if I go theoretically, what my HR textbook talks about specific to the compensation and performance management system, that would say someone who is qualified, certified should get more salary. But in practice, opposite is true. So that is the gap. That is the gap when my frameworks, theories, concepts are not taking care of these contextual differences, which may be because of job family, that is the most micro level, which can be because of the departmental context, that is the meso level of contextual difference. It can be because of company level context differences. It can be industry specific. And lastly, it can be a country specific. And finally, it can be a regional or continent wise contextual differences. So this is the level of HR decision analysis. So in the absence of strategic context or understanding of the strategic context of the business, you won't be able to appreciate these differences. So now I give you the explanation of the two questions. Then you will be able to understand what is the meaning of strategic HR. So Tata Steel worker, or let's say cement industry worker or automobile industry worker who is graduating or getting certificate and diploma from diploma colleges or ITIs, industrial training institutes in India, they are deployed for those jobs where you have standard operating procedures. So you are a part of a team or shift or work group where your instructions are either fed into the system. We call it electronic performance management system, which is the typical case in IT case, IT industry as well, and also in manufacturing and automobile. Second is your job is routine. Not routine in what sense? It's not that irrelevant. It is important, but it is programmed job. Your job can be programmed. Your instructions can be programmed. Your performance can be monitored and micromanaged. You are supposed to only follow the SOP under the guidance of supervisor or shift in charge. So every time the shift changes, quality and quantity of work, or maybe the final value of the output that you are producing, is not going to change. Whether worker A is working in that shift or worker B is working in that shift. This is the context number one. Now let's go to the diamond industry. So in diamond industry, let's say one shift of the worker is, and India is into cut and polish. So we import the diamond from Brazil, China, and South Africa and Switzerland. And Surat specifically imports a lot. And then they finally cut and polish and sell it. So these traditional workers in this industry, if they are given a piece of raw material, that is a piece of diamond, given to team 1, team B, same carat of rough diamond, and they start cutting and polishing. And the final output that will be submitted to what you call is to the company, the valuation of the both diamond will be different. So raw material in other manufacturing sector, when is same, your output and quality and quantity is same. Productivity can be different to what is a parameter to judge in that case. But in this case, your raw material is same. Processes are adopted by the respective team member in these two teams in the Surat diamond cut and polish industry. Output worth is different. So this output worth is additional value added by that particular team, which means unlike manufacturing sector, I cannot call this sector as a programmed sector. Why I'm not saying program sector? Program sector means every time my input is same, processes are set, my output will be same. Then you can say job is programmed. But in diamond cut and polish, every time you are giving the input of rough diamond, processes are different, some of them are same. It is the pure skill and knowledge of the worker. Therefore, final output and worth and value of cut and final polished diamond is different. So additional value that you are adding to the revenue generation capability of the firm through your indigenous knowledge, through your tacit knowledge that you might have gained because of maybe your training and all those stuff. So that is called direct impact on the business. Therefore, worker in that industry is not a worker. That worker or karigar is critical role holder. He brings the business. That karigar brings the business. Karigar adds value to the business. And therefore, they are the strategic asset, which typically all of you would be calling your all employee as a human capital. That is another philosophical and fundamental problem that I am having personally as a scholar of HR, that you don't call everyone human capital. So employee can be cost center. So those employees who are into that job families where they can directly influence the business, and because of their skill you are getting the revenues, is called human capital of the organization or strategic asset of the organization. When they leave, it's a problem. You want to retain them, you have to put extra effort for them, not for all of them. When digital transformation is happening, you have to categorically identify them, how their jobs are going to be. So in diamond industry also, diamond this digital transformation and technological advancement is happening. But still in India, your 60 to 70% of the diamond cut and polish is a manual, and that is in the demand. So therefore, in the coming year also, even if digital transformation happens in the cut and polish industry, it will not affect that much. So all these factors that I have explained you, who brought the business? Karigars. Who added the value? Karigars. How they added the value? Because of their tacit knowledge, which they gained when they were teenagers. They started working with their family members because it is a small scale industry. They get their training knowledge in the family business, and then they join the formal organization. That is the process. So when I answer all these questions, I have spelled out, I have deciphered the strategic context of diamond cut and polish industry. So now when as a HR, I am going to deal with the worker, I will talk to them very carefully. I will design policy very carefully. I will design retention policy, total reward policy, employee engagement activity very carefully. Now imagine you are coming from some conglomerate or FMCG sector, and you are the HR head of the this particular company called let's say diamond cut and polish industry. You will never respect worker. You will treat them as a program condition. You don't know the context. Who is running the show? And most important factor, if I need engineer, I have engineering colleges. If I need management trainee, MBA colleges. If I need worker, ITIs. But if you need diamond worker, there is no labor market. So whatever experience you have gained in handling the any steel company workers or any mining company workers or maybe any other manufacturing companies, that is irrelevant in this particular industry, though it is also manufacturing company. Product changed, business model changed, process of revenue generation changed. Automatically it changed your HR decision making process. It changed your HR metrics. It changed your strategic standpoint. Who is going to be my human capital? It has entirely changed the whole outlook of the HR decision making lever. Whole perspective is changed. So, do you have that bandwidth in your knowledge? Do you have that flexibility in your, we call it cognitive flexibility? Can you afford to have this level of customization where you will modify or mold your experience and knowledge and your degree and qualification to understand the strategic context of that particular sector, and hence you will unlearn whatever you have learned so far in your previous experience, and you will not forcefully impose those practices and system into the new context when new context is different? If answer is yes, then you have a component of strategic orientation. If answer is no, then you need to relearn. You need to develop the cognitive flexibility. And that is the most important competency required to gauge, to assess the strategic context of the firm. So again, the first question which I ask you to answer is, what is my revenue model and who brings the business? How they bring the business. Now, the second part of the discussion, I gave you another example. Consultant don't complain. They don't complain and they don't wait for the instruction to come from the competent authority to take their work forward. They are very much entrepreneurial in nature, taking more initiatives and all those stuff. So one of the reason for that is when you own whole value chain. So the important concept here to decode this context is, you can ask your organization whether this person or group of people or department or project team do the A to Z of the work or they only do the part of it. So we call it value chain of the work. If A to Z is done by A to Z of the work is done by one particular person or one department or one project team, naturally they have more bargaining power and more impact and more value addition. So I give you example from my context, and also it resemble with the consulting firms. So my job is not only to teach, it is also to design the program, design the content, choose the content, then bring the specific example, bring the industry insight, bring the specific case studies, then discuss in my own perspective that I want to teach, my own frameworks, and then I have to assess also. Now imagine if my syllabus is decided by department A, exam and assessment is decided by department B, and let's say my whole what you say case study is also decided by someone else. Why in my classes or my session I would be worried about while choosing my example whether it will add value to the audience or not, it will increase the learning value of the course or not? Then my job will be that I have to finish my 90-minute class, only I have to discuss about what is mentioned in the syllabus, whether it's relevant or not. Why should I customize this to the audience as per their experience when syllabus is decided by someone else? Let's say then you complain, sir, whatever you discuss, it is not relevant to my industry. What I will respond to you by saying, why don't you write to the syllabus department? So what you have done, have you reduced my, the moment you are deciding my value chain of the work, syllabus, assessment, teaching, you are reducing my accountability. Now when I say I do A to Z, content is mine, syllabus is mine, example is mine, then who will be responsible for learning value of the certificate or the program? Answer is direct, only me. Can I blame someone? I cannot. And the moment I cannot blame someone, automatically accountability lies with me. And then in that case, for the preparation of the course, for the preparation of the content, why I would pay attention to this work-life balance and other issue, maybe in office certain time or certain days, if I am so engrossed in my work, I will not pay attention to the imbalance, work-life imbalance. Why? Are you measuring my effort or you are measuring my output? You are measuring my output. So when output is measured, whole value chain is controlled. Work value chain is controlled by one person or set of few people. Accountability shoots up. When accountability is high, performance is based on the outcome. That is the learning value of that course, program, or that particular class. Automatically, no micromanagement is required. No biometric is required. No monitoring from the boss is required, because monitoring is happening in terms of value addition to the firm. Are you getting my point? So then all the consultants look at their value chain: identification of client, pitching your own services to them, convincing them, arranging your project team, deciding the project value and professional fee, that is called revenue of the project, billing hours, number of days, and the project life cycle and other stuff. So everything is done by the partner or director or project leader. They cannot blame anyone. Sorry. They cannot blame anyone that I could not get the project because my business development team is not doing well. I could not do well because maybe my project team does not have that competency. Then the organization will say, you are a project leader, you identify the suitable talent. Are you getting my point? Look at the science. The science to manage the professional firms and science to manage the other industries. So why we call it professional firms? Because your business model is run by few set of professionals, and they are not managed by policies and practices. They are managed by their accountability, and they are rewarded for direct value addition to the firm. So your company is basically relying heavily on the knowledge, skill, ability, experience of those professionals who runs those organizations. Therefore we call. So it does not mean other industry does not have professional. They have professional, but they don't bring business directly. Let's say you are a consulting firm, you have 100 consultant, and tomorrow, if let's say 50-60 consultant leave the organization will collapse. But that won't happen in a manufacturing industry. Let's say all the plant had resigned, factory will still run. Why? Because in professional firms, you don't require equipments, you don't require machineries, you don't require other organizational capital where my effort will be dependent to translate into performance. I can directly influence the what you say outcome. So when I'm sitting here in the studio, when I'm talking to you, is maximum support which I'm expecting from the organization is to give me the platform where I can speak and you can have uninterrupted interaction with me. That's all. That is my dependency on the technology, that much. And if you are having this physical classes or in-person classes, we can have the same lecture even under the tree in the ground. Are you getting my point? So the question is, the larger question that you will ask to understand who controls the firm, what is your dependency on the organization to deliver your output? Now again, recall that example of what you call the worker. Worker is not dependent in the diamond cut and polish industry on the equipment and machinery to give you cut and polish. It is my knowledge. Project manager in consulting firm, it is their depth of experience. Therefore, client is relying on them. So when I am talking to you, there can be an faculty in the institute, but I have my own specific impact on the learning value in a particular class and in particular program. So how much dependency I have to translate my lecture to be delivered to you so that your learning value has been enhanced. It is only the technological connect. That's all. I don't need machinery, boilers, or IT platform like IT company or manufacturing company have a heavy investment into plant and machinery. I don't require that. So in a one set of industry, you are heavily dependent on the organization to give the value. Naturally, we cannot call them as a professional firms. Second, you are a employee where your effort can be easily translated into outcome and you run the whole show. So the difference is in the professional firms, you have a revenue sharing model as a boss. So behavior of the employee, conduct of the employee, commitment of the employee, their engagement at the work, it is not determined by the boss. It is determined by what percentage of revenue you share with that particular professional, that particular consultant. And same happens in the diamond industry. If a large portion of their revenue that they generate is shared with the workers, hence their salaries are high. So can we conclude by saying worker in the diamond cut and polish industry is a professional who directly impact the business, hence getting a revenue sharing plan like a consultant in a consulting industry. This is one example which I gave to explore, give you the idea of how understanding the business model is important for HR. If you would have approached the problem that I have highlighted just like a traditional and functional HR, you would simply say, Arey, I have experience of 25 years in HR. I have seen how to retain employee in this sector, that sector. You will borrow the best practices, best compensation plan. Earlier, we used to ask all these questions to Google. Now we ask to the chat GPT, but the approach remains same. But that will not solve the problem. You ask chat GPT how to retain diamond cut and polish industry, they will give you all the traditional answers. Unless you have trained your chat GPT with these contexts, which I have shared with you, then only you will get the. But for that, you need to have the tacit knowledge, yes or no? So that is called the strategic mindset, which is very important in these days to add value to the firm. Because definitely in the coming years, if we see the way digital transformation is happening, certain job families will lose its relevance. But as a HR, the approach which was given by the Dave Ulrich is called outside to inside. That is one of the approaches that we need to develop. Can you scan the sector, identify which job families and up to what degree will get influence and inform the board? This is what is going to be the status of the workforce. Hence, you start optimizing your manpower accordingly. Do you have data to do that? And even if you have a data, can you make meaning out of data? If answer is no, then you will be a what you called reactor. That is called reactive approach of HR. Something will happen, you will react. To become a proactive HR, you need data and data mining skills. And that is our second competency, which is very important, is called, can you predict the outcome of HR decisions based on certain data that we have? So that is called the analytical mindset of HR. You may or may not be well versed with the tools and techniques these days, but at least you should be able to share the HR context, the strategic context, the business context, the job family details, the various business plans of your organization, and then you take the call which one is the most suitable decision for my organization. So therefore, in my final words, I will say sector-wise analysis of HRM practices, industry-wise analysis of HRM practices, and most important, understanding the convergence and divergence in business context and what you say revenue model is very important to understand for CHROs in coming year. And then only you can say that you have a strategic mindset and you can take these type of decision in the future. Pritesh, that is all from my side. And if we have question that we can take and move
Sure,
forward.
sure,
Yeah.
sure, Professor Jha. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
for the insights and, the way you were uh, describing about reactive and proactive HR and why understanding strategy and analytics is important nowadays. Nowadays,
Yeah.
leading organizations, they expect HR to contribute in business outcomes, right? So that is why all these discussions are happening. So to
Mm.
all the participants, those who have joined the session, we will also open the platform for Q&A, right? And you can ask your questions to Professor Jha, and the topics on which Professor Jha was talking about, strategy, analytics, and HR leadership. So Professor Jha has also developed a program which talks about the three pillars of HR strategy, HR analytics, and HR leadership, right? So we all are HR professionals. We must be having good amount of work experience in our domain, in our profile. But again, as Professor rightly mentioned, learn unlearn is a continuous process, and to evolve we have to kind of upgrade ourselves, upgrade our skills into those specific domain. So as you all are aware, the program which I am talking about is actually a online kind of a program which is meant for working professionals like you and me. And I'll just quickly share a small PPT wherein I'll share you the brief about the details about the program. And after that, we will open the platform for Q&A session also. If you allow me one quick moment, I'll just share my screen, and then we will come to Q&A session. Right. So, so this is the program which we are talking about. So, we will gain insights on the into the executive development program in advanced strategic HR and analytics for HR leaders. The program is coming from XLRI Jamshedpur itself, and Professor Jatinder Jha has developed the program content. Right. So the program title, as I said, it is a leadership kind of a program for HR professionals, which will cover strategic HR analytics plus HR leadership skills. So the program is actually a 8 months duration program, and the eligibility of the program is that you should have 7 years of minimum 7 years of work experience in HR domain. So that is the basic eligibility criteria of the program. And this entire session will be live and online, and there will be a 4 days of campus immersion towards the end of the course, which will be at XLRI Jamshedpur campus, wherein you will meet your batchmates, and you will also interact with your faculties. Along with Professor Jha, there are other faculties from XLRI Jamshedpur, those who will be teaching you and taking up these sessions. So it is a good networking opportunity for all of you, and you can also get guidance from the faculty members as well. The sessions happens on every Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And the last day to apply for the program is 15th of April. Uh, Program orientation is on 2nd of May 2026, and the program start date is 9th of May. Towards After you complete the program, you will get a executive education alumni status, which is again an optional. If you want, if you can take it. And the total program fee is 2,30,000 rupees plus GST, which can be paid into 4 installment. And this is the entire structure of the program. So I would like to share few photographs, few pictures which we took during the convocation ceremony. So it happened from 30th of May to 1st of June for the first batch which we completed. So this is the group picture of the first batch, and there are few pictures from the classroom which we captured. And we have Professor Abhishek Chakrabarti also, who is actually helping out the participants as well. And these are the participants holding their degrees, right? So this is all about the program. And if you have any questions, queries, please feel free to contact us. You can speak to our admission counseling team. You can reach out to them at 850 60 850 79. I repeat, 850 60 850 79. You can also send an email to me at pritish.mandal@vcnow.in. Right. So what I will also quickly do is that I will share you a link wherein you can access the program brochure. just go through the content of the program. It is a very interesting, program which we have developed. So I have shared the link wherein you can access the program brochure and the feedback of the past participants. Now, I guess you have queries, you wanted to ask questions, right? So I'll just allow you to, if you have any questions, please raise your hand so that I can allow you to unmute yourself and have a question. So Subhashish wants to ask a question. So yes, Subhashish.
Hello, sir. My name is Shubhashish Chakraborty. I'm heading a HR department in Kolkata. My question is that about conflict management. As a HR leadership, we are we are going to many more situation that many leadership conflict thing is going on. So, as a HR leader, how to be manage the conflict thing between senior leader and mid management leader?
See, we need to understand this problem from two perspectives. One, is this a problem related to a specific department, or is this a related to the whole organization? First, you have to categorize your problem into two parts. If it is related to the department, again, follow the same principle to understand the root cause of it. Who adds more value to the organization? Many a time you will find in certain organization, people will say very proudly, this is the organization of engineers, because they add directly value to the revenue generation model of the organization. So wherever they will be, they will have a dominance position in that particular organization. Like in academics, we all faculty say we are the one who run the whole show, so we have dominance over all the other, what you say, non-academic jobs in the industry. So that is the natural differences of opinion, because conflict occurs when there is a conflict of interest, there is a conflict of what you call the dominance, which is really with regards to who is more powerful in the organization. So answer is
Right.
who controls the resources. So you have to answer. So answer of this question is who controls the resources. Simple. You
Okay,
ask
thank you.
one question, you will get the root cause. Who controls the
Actually,
resources is a
actually, I'm from
Hmm.
automobile industry. See, in automobile industry, many of like the VP sales and the VP service will be conflicted to other subordinates. So that's the main problem
Correct.
for industry to like us.
Yes. So once you understand the root cause, which means which cannot be changed because it is the DNA of the industry or business model,
Right.
so then possible solution can be discussed. One, that
Right.
you have to be a follower, you have to be a yes man, you have to wait for the right channel, you have to wait for the right. If you don't raise your voice or address these issues in the right channel, industry is very much what you say, power centric and hierarchical. It will be considered as violation of the existing what you say policies and practices. So you have to be careful. But let's say if you are a service industry, flat organization, value chain and resources are not controlled by one department or few department, you can have more autonomy to raise your voice. So you have to be very clear on that. So in conflict management, concept can be taught again based on what business you belong to. Correct?
Thank you.
That is
Thank you so
called the
much.
strategy context. Yeah,
Right.
thank
Right.
you.
Right. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Professor. Thank you, Subhashish. May I
Thank
request
you.
Nidhi to, unmute yourself and ask your question, please?
Yeah, thank you, Pritish, and thank you, Professor Jha, for giving a brief on the program. I had gone through the brochure, so I have few specific questions, Professor Jha, for
Yeah.
you. Um,
Hmm.
of course, you could cover few industry examples, briefing us. So I do want to understand some of the examples you took were like the diamond cut industry, a
Hmm.
very, I would say, irregularized sector.
Hmm.
Particularly, my questions is more towards large corporates and global corporates. So, for example, I have
Correct.
20 plus years of experience and I'm right now heading the HR for a large corporate. When I say large,
Hmm.
over and above 30,000, 60,000 employees, the challenges could be very different. But I firmly believe with what you said that understanding the business model, how do you
Hmm.
and where do you get the revenue really makes a whole
Hmm.
lot of difference. So,
Hmm.
from that standpoint, I wanted to understand what all industries would you be covering as part of your different chapters? Um,
Yeah.
as an example, that's one question.
Oh.
Second,
Okay,
Professor Jha, would there be any case studies that you'll be using? Because examples always make the content realistic, like the way you were explaining with an example
correct,
now. And there is a
correct.
specific module, this is my third question, on AI and HR. So are you covering um, deployment, or is it tools, or is it where to deploy, how to deploy, or how do you make the even the decision to deploy AI in HR? So I wanted to understand from that aspect, AI in HR, what are you predicting to cover? And lastly, how do you plan to sort of make this more engaging and realistic for the participants by way of case study, project, or any other things that you may have planned as part of the course delivery?
Okay,
So
okay.
four
So
questions
basic.
in total.
Okay, let me see if my memory allows to respond to all the question in the same sequence as you asked, but I will try my best to recall. The number one was with example. So right now I gave you the example to give you the context that even in a diamond cut and polish industry, which is actually consisting of large number of small and mid-sized firm, except a few big players. That is the overall industry setup. Even these concepts are applicable there. That was one of the reason. But which industry we will refer? Largely when we see the profile of the participants, it lies and it is spread across FMCG conglomerates, and then you have manufacturing firms, you have BFSI, you have consulting, you have IT, you have ITS. Many of them are from the family business, many of them are from Indian family business, big Indian family businesses. So the examples and the case studies would cover all these main, what you say, industry. That is the one. So cases and example both will be a part of the curriculum. This is how all the programs in the Accelerate is delivered. That is our way of delivery, which you might have seen in the half an hour of this webinar also. Without example, then you can't apply at workplace. That's one. When you say artificial intelligence and human resource management, so where we have the focus is on various tools that can be used in HR, various tools that you can use in the hiring processes, various tool, and we focus more on AI tools to understand the analytical what you say part of HR decision. So in analysis, can you use the AI? Can you create a dashboard? That is a focus because program focuses on strategy and analytics. So we are focusing on that part of it. As you said, engagement. So your courses or you say content will be delivered through the case studies, through the guest lectures, through the industry experts, through the policy makers. So it's a mix of all the faculty members who will be delivering. So that actually adds value in a sense that in a single program you have a multiple perspective. Yeah. And then finally you have a campus component. In campus component you have a in campus feel of the learning from Accelerate, where multiple faculty will be taking multiple sessions. That's one. You not only learn from faculty and guest speakers and industry expert, you also learn from each other. So the whole batch will be divided into a group based on their industry background. So your evaluation for the certification is not just your enrollment for the program, but it is subject to how well you have done on all the assessment. You will have two evaluation, major evaluation, that is called end-term exam for analytics, end-term exam for strategy part. Third one is your when you will visit the campus, you will be presenting your group project. That is the field project. So whatever you have learned, are you able to apply? So there will be a panel and they will be judging you and they will give you the score. Score will be fed into the system, and based on the score, either you will get the certificate of completion or certificate of what you say participation. That is the whole program assessment, content, delivery, and engagement.
Got it.
So
That
here
means,
typically yeah, Nidhi.
sorry, please go ahead. Please complete.
So what I'm saying, typically this is the mode, and we always allow the participant to participate in the class, and for that also we have a component called class participation scores in each session. So it starts with multiple example, multiple, and finally we deliver the correct answer. So in this way, you can have n number of example from, let's say, you have a batch of 60 such example or 30 such example, and then finally you have a final framework from the faculty which actually connects all the dots and clear your all the doubts. This is the process. This is how we engage in the online conversation.
Right. So you're saying there'll be individual assignments as well as group assignment, especially at
Individual, group assignment, and class participation on daily basis.
okay. I'm still not clear in when you say AI in HR, are you talking about some tools which would allow us to do predictive analysis, or are we
Tools,
talking about overall? Okay. So you'll be talking through
tools,
some tools.
tools,
Okay.
tools. Yeah,
Right. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Thank you so much, Nidhi. And may I please
Yeah,
request
good thinker
Shefali to,
from Hyderabad.
go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much.
Good.
And thank you so much for the
Yeah.
discussion. I just wanted to ask you, and it is a little deviation from current topic. My topic or my question is not related to just strategic HR. It is more related to the current labor code compliance that has come into picture.
Hmm.
You allow me to ask
Hmm.
a question right now?
Yes, yes, please, please.
Thank you. So what I wanted to ask you was, could you help me in understanding the difference between worker and employee? While I understand the base concept that, for a worker, the wage should be should be less than 18,000 per month. At the same time, he or she should not be in a administrative or supervisory role. Now,
Correct.
the JD defines this definition whether somebody is in a administrative or supervisory role, or there's more to it.
See, when we are talking about the definition of the worker, for which perspective, for which decision are we defining the worker for the wage decisions as per the new labor code, or we are defining a worker definition for various other benefits that we are referring to? We need to very clear one. So, in this program, particularly, if you say, our focus is primarily on the strategic human resource management, not on the management of the workers. That is, we are not targeting. But what we have done, because many of our participant even in the batch 2 is also from manufacturing industry, so what we did this year, we have added 6 what you say sessions on the labor codes, and labor codes also from those who were part of the drafting committee.
Okay.
So 4 plus 2. As of now, if you ask anything related to that, then that is not my area of expertise. So therefore, I won't be able to comment on that. But if you ask as a participant and program, then definitely in the program it is covered. Yeah.
All right. Sure, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So Shefali, we have other faculties also, those who are
Deal
expertise
with this
in
type
their
of topic. Yeah.
areas. So there are multiple faculties, those who are involved in the program, and industry expert lectures will be also there as a part of the course. So
Sure.
that all things will be covered here in the program. I'll take one quick question from Pawan. He has mentioned that Professor Jha, you talked about using HR analytics to find out the most valuable job roles in sector industry based on revenue model of the company. How does one initially go about creating questionnaires required to get the data for the AI models to build on? Uh, Sir, any thoughts on
So
this?
I didn't get the question. What is the question? How to build? Is it in the chat box?
Yes, it is. It is in the chat box. If you have
Let me read
access to
that.
it.
How does one initially go about creating questionnaire survey required to get the data? Okay. See, questionnaire and this thing is a tool to collect data. First, you need to understand which construct you want to measure. Let's say you want to know how my employee feels at workplace. So technically in the literature, it is a well-defined called employee experience. So what you can do is first you will define an employee experience. What do you mean by employee experience? Then we actually define the questions, and then finally we teach you survey design, collecting data, data analysis, doing predictive tool. Many a times you might have seen when you appear for various interview or selection process, they ask you to go through certain questions. Those questions are not randomly asked. So we call it scale development. Developing a scale which consists of the questions based on reliability and validity, it is a scientific process. So the process is called not questionnaire development. Process is called scale development to measure that particular way. So there are two types of variable that we see in the HR decision. One, latent, which is hidden. Second is called visible. Like for example, your salary, your performance data. These are the hard data. But if you want to measure my negotiation skill, it is a latent variable. Latent variables are measured through well established existing scales. You cannot use your own questions. That won't be a valid scale. For example, you all must be participating in Great Place to Work. You must be participating into engagement surveys. You buy those tools, then only you implement and then collect the data and finally do the data analytics. So you need to understand, do you want to develop the scale or you want to use a well-established scale and then collect data and do the analytics? That is the separate part of discussion. So we primarily focus on, we can actually teach you how to check the reliability, validity of these latent, what you say, variable that can be measured through the scales. And then once you have collected the data through survey or interviews or whichever method, how to analyze it. That is there.
Thank you, sir. I think Pawan, your query has been answered. Next question we have is from Pankita Kumari. Nowadays, what's working model with HR in AI?
Nowadays,
Working model with HR in AI.
see, the most exposed function of HR, which is widely used in all organization, including IT, BFSI, and other, is recruitment and selection. That is a function where I will say, if degree of application of artificial intelligence is into hiring, and in specific in hiring whole value chain, I will say in shortlisting of the candidates, screening, initial screening. I give you one example from selection, even from academics also. So in our organization in Accelerate, we have a manual process of screening, manual process of interview. But I have also seen in the last 3 years, there is a B school, decent B school, who will actually have first AI round of screening, where the candidate will sit in front of the screen. Questions will be appearing on the screen. They have to respond. Report will be created. Report go to the panel. Panel will then create a themes out of those response. System also generate the themes, and those questions are asked finally in the second round from the panelist. So just to confirm and reconfirm what candidates have responded in the selection. So all the selection parameters, situations, everything is already fed in the system for the screening purpose. So in that way, organizations are increasing the efficiency, at the same time effectiveness of the selection process. For example, all of you might have heard about Infido and various other tools which is there for the HR decision processes. But hiring is the area which is highly exposed to AI now.
Right. Next question we have is from Gargi. Gargi is asking how the data analytics can help to understand the reason of specific problems like attrition and managing attrition. How this course will help to take cost-effective
Yeah.
HR process and measure the outcomes in terms of cost.
Yeah, see, analytics, when you simply do the data mining and data analysis without having understanding of the HR part of it, then it is just a kind of spurious calculation or spurious analysis. It won't take you anywhere. But if you want to actually understand and combine the understanding of HR plus understanding of the data, then only you will get the informed decision. For instance, let's say you have a high attrition data for last 10 years, 15 years in the organization. You know all the tools, you know how to use AI also to do the predictive analysis. You have developed a model and done the analysis, and you are ready with the report. But if you know the organizational context, why attrition is so high in your organization, to do the root cause analysis, you need to consider all functions of the HR together. For instance, is this a related to a one particular department? Is this a related to a one particular function? Is this related to the whole industry? Is this a related to only the organization? Is there problem with the compensation only? Because many people will say compensation only and personal reason. These are the two things you get. But to understand and deep dive into that data, you need to have an understanding of the various bottleneck in the HR decision making process, and how employee experience are getting affected when they encounter with all the HR functions, because attrition is the outcome of encounter with multiple HR function, not just one function or one policy. So for that, you need to conduct in-depth interview, focus group. You need to have a regular, what you say, connect with the employees. Then only this data mining and report will support and what you say, supplement your support or complement your support.
Thank you.
So this is Gargi. I wanted
Yeah.
to check, like, is there any kind of different kind of industry that you are also including, like beam industry or construction industry? Um, so that would help me to understand the context of the industry.
See, if you see the context, there are multiple industries and multiple cases that we discuss. For example, Asian Paint is one of the example which I most of the time discuss, because I have done multiple programs with their the dealers, with the organizations. So I have both perspective from them. Then I have done various program with automobile industries, the cement industry, Ultratech Cement and others, the top leadership programs with them. So I understand that context. So therefore, even if you see the largest construction company where we have the largest number of participants in all the program, and that is called L&T. L&T is the largest what you say, construction company and project based industry. So any solution that we discuss in the class is very specific to the industry also. Yeah. So definitely we pay attention to these context while suggesting you any strategy to implement. Yeah.
I think you have answered the question, sir. We
Yeah.
have another question from Gunjit. If a CHRO reports to CFO instead of a MD, what all data shall be presented to him to ensure employee satisfaction is also met and not only keeping the cost in mind?
Okay, so that is called the quality of HR leader. How your HR leadership quality is shaped while working in the organization. I always say you can justify any decision if it is based on two factors. Number one, the data of the organization, not these surveys. Many a times when we will teach you the analytics, you will understand these surveys are not good predictor of employee behavior at workplace and performance. Data. Second is the sound theory. Most of my participants, students, industry leaders, where they lack is they don't know the sound theory. And it is said in the industry, there is one researcher who said this once, there can be nothing practical than a sound theory. Sound theory is based on data only, and sound theory can predict any phenomena. So when you propose to your board, you need to only ask two questions to yourself, where you are basing your argument, on the data or on the sound theory. That can be logic also. So you need to be very careful. Accordingly, you can convince your this thing leader.
Next question we have, sir. Will we be covering performance management system and its latest tools in the session?
Yes. We will have performance management. We have compensation analytics. We have digital transformation. This year we will add additional. We have AI and HRM. So all function, the strategic human resource management will function all part of HR along with the sectoral differences.
Thank you, Professor. Ritu, I think
Yeah.
you have received your answer. Next question is from Gauri Shankar. What is the advanced strategy and HR strategy? Are you covering explainable AI algorithm, advanced
AI
strategy and
algorithm.
HR strategy? Yeah.
So see, as related to AI, we restrict ourselves only to the analytical part of it. In analytics, only we are going to support you how AI is there. In digital transformation and tools and technique, which we are adding this year, we will try to give you the exposure of first whether digital transformation in HR is possible, what are the challenges? Second, what are the tools and techniques of digital transformation in HR? That is the two modules or two component in the same module we are going to add this year. Algorithm and all we don't discuss with regards to managing the HR function. Definitely for analytics, we are going to discuss that. Let's say regression in Excel sheet, regression in AI. So that much of algorithm will be discussed. And all the knowledge that we are going to impart is through hands-on what you say application of the concept in the real time. So data sheet will be given to you, support from the faculty will be there, you submit the assignment, you apply the concept, then only the course will be completed. That part, analytics part.
Thank you
Same
for
for the strategy
answering.
part, you do
Yeah.
the field project, then only that part is completed.
Thank you for answering this question. Next question is from Roji Matthew. Which functions or the sectors of HR will have less attrition due to AI?
See, whenever we see the service industry, so service industry definitely going to have a lesser what you say impact, and those who are what you say back end jobs where you have more what you say programmed kind of jobs, SOP driven jobs, those jobs will be having high tendency of a replacement as compared to those jobs where your discretion is important to execute the task, that will take a longer time to be replaced. So you can see the jobs into two parts: programmed jobs, non-programmed jobs, SOP based jobs, non-SOP based jobs. So in that way, you can check the degree as per your industry.
Thank you, Professor. We have next question is from Archana Chakravarti. Sir, do we capture strategies and analytics which are used for leadership hirings for pharma and medtech industries at global level?
Yes, yes. All the industries. These are the industry which will be definitely there to, give the context of. So I give you one example, which actually one of the participant which asked Gargi, I think, for construction. There are many industries which I can name now where they say that we are fine with having high attrition in this particular department, in this level, in this job family. Like for example, all the IT companies are not worried about if their coders are leaving them. They can definitely leave. We don't want them. Correct. So you need to understand which jobs you can afford to lose, which people you can afford to lose. So sometime industry has this tendency to be ignorant towards certain, the attritions. Yeah. So as you are talking about the pharma industry, we discuss this industry under manufacturing sector, and definitely we pay attention to the context of it. So there is one research paper which I published, which you can read also while visiting on the Google Scholar. The title of my research is, it was published in International Journal of Knowledge Management. Are you assistant or channel? Knowledge hiding behavior among R&D professionals of pharma industry. So I conducted the study with the well-known pharma manufacturer in the western part of the country, situated in the Ahmedabad city. So when I was doing my doctorate there in IIM Ahmedabad, there I finished this project, and we decoded how performance management system actually was influencing the knowledge hiding behavior among R&D scientists. So I visited their R&D department with all the protocols. The company allowed me to meet all the scientists, and then I collected data, and finally I published the paper. So you can read that paper in your leisure time. That is my understanding of the pharma industry.
Thank you, sir. We will take another one or two question, and then we will wrap up the session.
Sure,
So,
sure.
specific question from Anil Sharma. Are we covering anything in talent management, sir?
Yes, basically, talent management is all about understanding the strategy, then deciding your recruitment processes, performance management, compensation, and then analytics and creating HR dashboard. These are the component of what you say talent management only. Yeah, we will discuss these aspects of the talent. So we will not use the term talent management. We say strategic human resource management, but definitely it is part of that categorization of the job, categorization of the job families. All are part of talent management itself.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. One last question
Yeah.
from Ruchi. Understanding how AI can be leveraged to predict attrition early would be valuable, enabling us to take proactive. Okay, so this is
Yeah.
then not exactly a question. So,
True.
uh, so Vivek, is LTIP included in the program? What all types should be
What is?
included? LTIP.
Sorry.
LTIP.
It's a long-term incentive plans for CEO and other stuff. This is what as we, yeah, in total reward, we definitely discuss that. What are the various components of the reward? So that is briefly discussed, because we discuss the whole science of creating the pay structure in the organization using data and industry context. So definitely it is a part of the course.
Okay. And to what extent is it being discussed there?
It is not extent. So in compensation, what we discuss is what are the various components, how salaries are decided, how jobs are evaluated, how benchmarking process is done, how pay ranges are decided. These are the analytical part of compensation and strategic part of the compensation discussed. Then when you say long-term incentive plan, which is widely followed for the CEO compensation. So CEO compensation directly is not part of this course because the participant is from a different what you say group. But let's say in the total reward policy, we discuss the various types and its impact on the retention of the executives. What are the various way of calculating ROI on these type of investment? All those components are discussed. In fact, we also
And
discuss how to go for merit pay increase, how that metrics and budgeting is done. So we touch that part also in compensation management.
Can I ask a question? In
Yes,
fact, you
please.
mentioned that the attrition in HR will be less for decision-making positions with less
Yeah.
SOP. In Indian context, which sectors in HR will have more individual-based discussion and decision-making? Means less
See,
attrition.
yes. So if you see, if I divide the whole HR department into three components, let's say corporate HR and HRBP and Center of Excellence, and finally the operation HR. So I see more degree of adoption of AI in operation HR. I see different level of application of AI in taking the consulting decision, which is part of your COE, which we call COE is the consultant of the organization. So they would be using AI to enhance their capability because they have more discretionary power in terms of data analysis, providing solution to the various department and the organization. Uh, but when I say operation, in this case, you are using for efficiency and effectiveness both. The application of AI would be, let's say, payroll management, compensation management, collating the performance data, the total rewards, record keeping of all the employees, query and grievances handling. That can be also maybe initial grievances can be handled through your chatbots and all those stuffs. So degree of and type of adoption of AI will be different.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Professor Jha, for
yeah,
patiently answering to all the questions, all the queries, which
yeah.
all of us has asked. So in today's session, we had more than 80 plus participants in this session,
Okay.
and we
Yeah.
have covered almost around 15, 17 questions and queries from the participants. Right. So
Yeah.
if any of you have any questions or any queries, you can always write an email to us. We will, try to answer it to you. And any questions related to the program, you can always speak to our program counselors. And you can also write it to me. If you have any questions, I will get your questions answered from Professor Jha directly, because
Yeah.
he is the subject matter expert. He will be able to give you more detailed insights about the program. So the program is going to start soon. We are going to start it from next month onwards, and most of the participants have already blocked their seat for the program, and we have almost 14 seats left for it. So in case you would like to enroll for this journey, you can connect with us and we will help you with the registration process. And before ending this, yes, we all are working, we all are HR professionals with good years of work experience, but we should always evolve and learn new things which are happening in the industry, because what we have learned 15 years back, 10 years back is something has not changed, right? So to evolve and grow, you have to, the learning journey has to be a continuous process. So that is why we have designed this program for professionals like you who can get benefited out of this program. So thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Jha, for taking out your time,
Yeah.
and
Thank you so much.
thank you all the participants for joining in. Have a great
Thank
weekend
you.
ahead. Bye bye.